Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is AWS Lambda tutorial series, part 4. So in this video, I'm going to discuss what are the Lambda triggers and Lambda functions, and what are the importance of those Lambda triggers, and we will also see how we can add a trigger to a Lambda function practically. Now let's say you have created a Lambda function and you want this Lambda function to be executed automatically. So it should not be a manual execution. So there are two cases that you can execute this Lambda function automatically. So one case is that you have a project flow, you have created an orchestration and you included this Lambda function to that particular orchestration. So as a part of that orchestration, and you schedule that orchestration and it will be executed at particular point of time as per schedule. So as part of that orchestration, the Lambda function will also be executed one after the other job. So it will automatically done. There, in that case, you might not be using the triggers because that is part of orchestration that should be triggered, that should be executed as part of flow one after the other job. And the second case is that you want this Lambda function to be executed at any particular event. Event can be anything, like event can be a schedule or event can be a for example, if you receive any files to a particular S3 bucket and you want this Lambda function to be executed as soon as you receive the files. So that can be an event. Or when you receive any SNS, like SNS notifications to your email ID or any SQS event happen. So in that case also you can trigger this Lambda function. You can execute this Lambda function automatically by using the trigger. So now we will see how we can add a trigger to a Lambda function. So there are two cases that you can add a trigger to a Lambda function. This is one case. You can see add trigger option over here, and you can also add from the configuration tab trigger. So you can see the option add trigger. So you can also create from here. So I'm going to create now. So add trigger. So you can see the trigger configuration over here. So these many events that you can add, S3, SNS, SQS, any event, any particular event, according to your requirement, according to your project requirement, you can add any particular event. For now, I'm going to put S3 event. So the requirement is like as soon as you receive the files to a particular folder in S3 bucket, you should execute this Lambda function. So I have created a bucket for this encode data bucket, and this is the input folder. So as soon as I receive the files to this particular folder, I'm going to execute this Lambda function automatically. Okay. So I've already created this Lambda function. So let me show you what I've done in that Lambda function first. So this is the Lambda function I have created. So what it as is, it will pick the file from this particular bucket and this particular folder, and it will process the file, and then it will keep the file, process the file in this particular output folder with a name processed underscore and the original file name. Okay. So this actually this Lambda function does that. So I'm going to keep this in my GitHub account, and I'm going to give the link in the description. You can have the look into that. Okay. And then so I'm going to add a trigger now. So that's the event. Okay. Now you can select any particular event type. So this is one particular event type I'm going to select as soon as you receive the files. I'm going to execute that Lambda function automatically. Okay. So this is the put object type, put event type I've selected, and then prefix is this one, because this is where I'm going to pick the files from. The Lambda function is going to pick the files from. Okay. So that I'm going to give and acknowledge and then create, add it. The bucket name you should give encode data bucket as I already shown you. So event is added. You can see how it is displaying the details: bucket name, event types, notification name, and prefix. Prefix are already added at our files. So this is how the Lambda trigger is going to be created. Okay. Now, uh, as I said, as soon as I place the files in this folder, the Lambda function is going to be executed. Now, I'll place the files in this particular folder, and it will create a output folder automatically. For now, you are not able to see any output folder here, but in the code I've written the output folder as well. So it will, you can see, as you can see, the output folder is here in the bucket, same bucket. So it will be created automatically once this Lambda function is executed. So as soon as you place the files in this bucket, you will see the output folder, and you will see a file in that particular folder. Now I'm going to place the file in that particular folder. So this is the file I'm going to place, and you will see a file name in the output folder called processed underscore orders.csv. Okay. The file is uploaded now. Let's wait for a few minutes. So you will see output folder here. See, the output folder has been created, and the processed underscore orders.csv. So by this, you will be able to understand that the Lambda function is executed, and the process the file and place the file in this particular folder. But how can I check it from the Lambda functions? You go to the configuration, or you go to the monitor and go to the CloudWatch logs. This is where you will check all the logs of your Lambda function execution. You see, this is the date that I've executed this Lambda function. I mean, it is executed automatically. So it is picked up the file orders.csv and placed the files in the output folder. So files processed successfully. So this is how the Lambda function is executed by using the trigger. So I hope you have understood how you can add the Lambda triggers in the Lambda functions, and also the importance of this triggers. So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. Thank you so much.